back to Stef ABtv. Welcome to the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio GTAM. So here it is, guys. We've waited a long time to see this in the flesh, but I can confirm this is the Alfa Romeo Giulia GTAM. And one thing I will say straight off the bat is that the photos and the videos that you see online don't do it justice. For people watching this video, it won't look anywhere near as good as it does here in the flesh. I'm going to do a quick walk around. I'm going to give you all the information you need to know on this car, and it is just a stunning car. I'm going to start first of all with the colour. Whilst the colour is a rosso competizione, when I'm looking at this kind of face on and when the light's hitting it, you can almost see that it looks like there's almost like a bit of a satin and a black paint kind of tip to it. It looks really nice, but when you get really close to it, you can see actually that it is a gloss paint. So again, just initially a really, really nice, simple touch. Now, what do you get from this car? What is the GTAM? So it runs the same engine that you'll find in the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, the base model, which is a 2.9 litre V6 bi-turbo. Now, the base model runs 500 odd horsepower. This is now tuned up to run 540 horsepower. The other kind of key highlights of the GTAM versus the original car is that we're seeing over 100 kilos worth of weight saving in it, which kind of amounts to around about 2.8 horsepower per kilo, which is of a hell of a lot of HP when you're looking at something like this. Now, I mean, guys, what do we think of the rear of this car? I think this looks absolutely mental. There's a question mark, I guess, around the rear wing and whether that will kind of sit well with people. But I mean, looking at this in the flesh, I do really, really like it. Now, there's an important point to note here that this specific wing is a kind of pre-production wing. So whilst it's full carbon fiber, what this specific car is lacking is the ability to effectively move and manually adjust elements of the rear wing. So that will be in the final production car. The other thing that I really like about this one is the new rear lights. I think they work really well, particularly on the GTAM, because you've got so much carbon fiber on this. So that kind of black tail light mixing with the carbon fiber rear wing. Down here, the carbon fiber rear diffuser, which is stunning, by the way, and the titanium Aquapovic exhaust, which will turn on in a bit so you can have a listen. One of the more noticeable things as well you'll see on this is we've got some very nice gold calipers on these 20-inch wheels, which hidden behind them are some massive carbon ceramics. You'll also see here on the center you've got a center locking wheel nut, almost kind of F1 inspired, so very kind of quick and easy release if, for example, you are to track this car, which is what you're going to want. But it's again showing Alfa Romeo mixing in with their F1 technology with their kind of production cars. In terms of a cost for this, so this car will come in around about £165,000. Obviously that's not fully confirmed yet, that's just based on the current exchange rate versus the prices Italy have announced. But it is a lot of car for the money. And one of the things I wanted to get clarity on, which I have done, is in terms of how many models will be available, there's a total of 500 cars, and that is split between GTA and GTAM. So it's not a 50-50 split, it's depending on which models get sold first. If we drop down here to the front and take a look at the front bumper, the most obvious changes that we're going to see from the standard model is just the abundance of carbon fiber here. And one of the things that I absolutely love, it was one of the things that stood out for me when this car was initially launched, is just the way that the carbon fiber kind of front diffuser merges into the bumper. Very, very cool. Another point as well to note that this specific car being a pre-production car, this front splitter is non-adjustable. So on the standard Quadrifoglio, you have it's almost like an ala thing where it turns depending on how fast you're going to allow for aerodynamics. With the final production version of the GTAM, this will be slightly longer, I think about 40 millimeters longer, and it will also be manually adjustable. So depending on where you're driving and how much kind of front aero you want to put on, that will be available on the actual production car itself. The other thing is very nice, we get black Alfa Romeo badges, which is a first. I think that looks very nice, particularly as we have so much carbon fiber on here. If we go down the side, this is where it looks really, really cool. So So one of the things that you get with this, you get a 50mm wider track, now particularly on the back. Now when you see this car in pictures, you look at it and think, well, what really are the arches there for? But if I kind of lean right up against the side of the car, you'll see that the wheels really actually just tuck right underneath the arches themselves. So they have really gone for a much wider track on this car, which ultimately will improve the handling. Other performance handling improvements include new shocks that we get on this. We get new bushings for the suspension to overall really make this a bit more of a firmer ride, but ultimately making it a really track focused weapon. And I think that's the key here when you're looking at one of these. What, you know, there's an argument to say if you buy one of these, it's going to be a collector's item, but those who are brave enough, who will take this out on a track, will be they're very much enjoying the fact that this has got better handling than the standard QV. We're still waiting for Alfa Romeo to deliver a Nürburgring lap time on this, and I'm keen to see what that looks like, because ultimately I think the real competitor this will go up against will be the Jaguar Project 8. So we'll have to just wait and see until we get this thing out on the ring. Now when we go back and look at the engine on this car, so in terms of the 2.9 litre V6 bi-turbo, what does that mean in terms of a 0 to 62 time? So we don't officially have figures just yet, but if you take into account what the standard model did, 3.9 seconds to 62, and you then up the power to 540 horsepower, you've got 600 newton meters of torque on this, that I'm going to go in and say it's closer to the 3.6-ish mark, maybe even sub that, but we'll have to wait for official figures to be released by Alfa. Now, with regards to that power, would I have liked to have seen more with regards to performance? Yeah, I'd probably say yes. I mean, I would have loved to have seen maybe 600 horsepower out of this, but you've got to take into account the power to weight. So as I said earlier on, there's at least 100 kilograms worth of saving on this, which coupled with that performance increase is definitely going to make for a much more quicker car, more nimble car to drive, and that's what this is all about. You know, this literally is going to be about how it drives. You'll see that the rear arches literally just house those 20-inch wheels so nicely, and again, that rear carbon fiber diffuser just works so well, and the twin center X Aquapovic, stunning car. The question really then becomes is, if you are going to buy one of these, which one are you going to go for? Because as I said earlier on, there's only 500 cars available, and you have a choice between the GTA M and the GTA. Now you're paying an extra £5,000 for all the goodies on the GTA M versus the standard model, but it becomes more interesting with regards to residual value and the long-term value of this specific car if everybody opts for example, the GTA, and there's only 20 odd of these, then these are definitely going to hold their price well. And then you start to look at, when it comes to right-hand drive cars, how many of those are actually going to come to the UK? Now, I've had a number of discussions with people about this specific car and regards to value for money and an investment, and what would you buy one of these? One, over a standard Quadrifoglio, or two, would you not just save the money and buy an N-Ring? Because ultimately the N-Ring, there's less of them, I think it's 108, versus the GTA M, where we don't actually know how many of them they're going to be. There could be 500 GTA Ms, there could be 10, there could be 15, so I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Regardless of which, the price for one of these is ridiculously high, but when you think about what you get from this car with regards to all the track focus, the F1 technology, the carbon fiber, the performance, I think there's a lot of car here for the money. Okay, so now we've explored the exterior of the GTA M. Let's take a look inside and see what's different between this and the normal car. Let's open up this door. I mean, first of all, you are greeted with these absolutely stunning kind of Seatbelt style bucket seat. They come complete with 6-point harness. They're not just for show, and that goes all the way through. Hopefully you'll be able to see this because of the light. That goes all the way through from the back of the seat over here to a very nice roll bar, and the whole of the kind of back seats have been removed with the GTA M, and it's just Alcantara pretty much everywhere. It is honestly stunning. You've got fire extinguisher in there as well, which looks amazing. The other really nice things that we get with this is Alcantara pretty much everywhere. The door cards, beautiful Alcantara, which kind of lead onto this carbon fiber door handle, and with a very almost kind of Porsche inspired door handle here. Again, everything here to save weight. So interior wise, yeah, this is very nice. As you can see here, stunning Alcantara GTA M badge there. I'm going to fire up because I think that's the bit that everyone really wants to hear. So this is what a titanium Aquapovic exhaust system sounds like. Here we go. Oh. Now, of course, being the GTA M, we do get the new new style infotainment system, which is really good. Also, we get additional performance pages on this, specifically to GTAM. Where is it? I think one of the ones on here is the performance temperatures, I think. But either way, it's very cool. I am a fan of this kind of widget system on that. Right, you want to hear what this sounds like, so we're going to lower the window a bit so you can have a listen. And are we in race? I think it's permanently in race. Oh yeah, that's the thing. So the GTA M is pretty much permanently in race. I know we've got a DNA system there, but yeah, the valves are open on the exhaust, so have a listen. Are we warm? Yes, we are relatively warm. Check this. Oh, that is very nice. In fact, we're going to let it warm up just a touch more, and I'll touch here on the interior. So again, center console, very model year 20 style. We've got the new and improved gear stick with the beautiful kind of red stitching on here. We've got the carbon fiber here in the center. We've got the kind of nice wheel here. We've got the parking brake here. We've got the space for your key, which you see on all the model year 20 cars. Also with the GTAM, what I do like is the fact that this is a track specific car. You still get USB ports ×2 and AUX and wireless phone charging, which is pretty good. Now, in terms of comfort, what are these bucket seat belts like? They're actually pretty snug, if I'm honest with you. They're a little bit harsh on the back, which you'd expect from a bucket seat, but overall they do hug you well. Now, I'm relatively thin, thankfully. I went on a diet and lost a lot of weight, but the bolstering is superb on this. I do like this, and you sit quite deep compared to the standard QV, where I feel like you sit a little bit higher. Well, this, it actually feels like I'm seated lower, which is really, really cool. The steering wheel on the model year 20 car as well just looks awesome, and the fact that this is a GTAM, that you still get things such as cruise control, lane assist, is brilliant, because sometimes you can go too much with these cars and lose the base functionality of it. I guess arguably there's a question though, if you're buying this car, are you going to use it as a normal daily car? If you are, you're a bit of a hero. Right, we're warm now, so have a listen to this Aquapovic exhaust. That is a titanium Aquapovic exhaust, and it sounds incredible. I mean, to give it one more, I'm not going to rev it too much. Wow, what a car, and just listen to it on idle as well. That Aquapovic sounding mean. It's very deep and very throaty. Right, let's turn her off, because this for me is an absolute weapon. It looks absolutely stunning. It looks so much better in the flesh than it does on photos and cameras. And I really hope that one day I get the chance to drive this thing. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this walk around and startup and revs of the Alfa Romeo Giulia GTAM. Massive thank you to Alfa Romeo for the invite down here. I'm very much looking forward to hopefully one day driving one of these cars. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. My name's been Stef. You guys have been awesome. I'll see you all very soon on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.